Hi, everybody. It's Heather, the Expat Entrepreneur. Welcome. I figured it was about time that I did an update for you, and I showed you what was going on in my live bot account. And I also just happened to have an amazing piece of news for you to share. I just got word this morning that Dan has decided to do one more training. Dan or Jason, I'm not sure if it's one or both, but we're going to have a special encore presentation later this week that is just it's like a gift from God, because we had no idea this was going to happen. And it's super exciting, because that means that the door is going to sneak back open again for a very short period of time. So if you're one of those people that was just like, oh, I missed the boat, this is for you, because yeah, it's going to be a short window, but it's going to be there. So what I wanted to do was invite you to make sure that you're on my list. And I will be sure to update you as soon as I have information on that webinar, and I can send a link to you so that you can actually watch the webinar and be able to participate. So make sure you're on my list. There's going to be a link beneath this video. It'll be the waitlist link is what I'm going to do. I just decided now. And you can get yourself on there so that you will get the update. You'll be the first to know. I know this is going to be a super short window. It's not going to be the normal week-long or multiple day-long thing. It's going to be, here it is, it's going to come and go. So if you're interested, then get your name on that list so that I can let you know the minute that it's available, okay? So in the meantime, let me go ahead and share with you what is going on with my account, because a lot of you have been following me and seeing how it's been going over the past number of weeks. And what I'm doing now, I'm going to report to you on what is happening in my real money account, not the demo bots at the moment. Let's talk about the real stuff, what's happening. And you can see, and what I've done here is I've put together a small slideshow for you. I'm not going to go live in my account because I wanted to get this video out to you right away, and I don't have time to wait and let it get masked off. So it's easier for me to just take some still photos and then to cover up the bits that are covered under NDA. So you'll still be able to see the date and see that it's all current and what's happening right now. So on that note, let me go ahead and share my screen. And the first thing, as always, that I want to say to you is my disclaimer that I am not a licensed professional. I am not qualified to give or advice on finances, on investing, on taxes, or any of that. I'm just a human being who is having an experience and I'm sharing it. So you do need to consult your own licensed professional for advice. And this is definitely not investment advice either. If you do choose to invest in crypto, you could lose money. It is considered a high risk market, and there are no guarantees, just like there's no guarantees if you invest in the stock market. So, you know, it's kind of a similar thing in that regard. And lastly, you must do your own research. If you are going to move forward with something, that's the time when you need to reach out to professionals in your jurisdiction so that they can properly advise you on what the ramifications are as far as your taxes go and that kind of thing. That's not me. So yeah. Okay, so here is my live account, and I will show you the date. You can see it's October 6th at 10:20, about an hour and 40 minutes ago. And this is my current live account of the real money bots that I have going at the moment. There's 4 of them. And so I wanted to just go slow here and really explain to you and show you how everything works. And so let's just start by looking here. We've got on this first one on the top line, what it's showing me here is that here's the average daily transactions, the time that it's been on. So it's been on for 5 days and 15 hours. The one below is 13 days, and then 28 days and 28 days again. But with this top one, I'm sitting at, in 5 days, it's not doing that well. Just $29 is what I've made so far in 5 days. And that's for a 0.94% return. The next one has done $217 in 13 days, which is definitely a little bit better. And the next one is 28 days, and it's also not really that great because it's only $319. The last one here is the one that's doing the best, and this one has done $791 in 28 days. And you can see there's a ton of transactions. This column here is actually really fascinating because it shows you how volatile it is, how much action is happening with that particular coin pairing. And with 10,000 transactions in 28 days, that's a lot. It's no wonder why I'm getting lots of profit off of there. And let me just show you quickly, I'll come back to this chart in a second here, but just to show you, I'll show you this bigger one. This is that actual trade, that last one, the $791 profit. And this is one that actually, for any of you who were following me on the 6Ks that I made $6,000 in 6 days trade, this is the same coin pairing. It just happened to be several days later with real money. That other trade was happening while I was getting my fiat currency onboarded into my exchange. So the minute that I was able to put this trade on in real dollars, I did. And that's what you see here. This beginning bit, that's when the trade, when the coin was started. The coin, it was actually a brand new coin right here at the end. At the beginning, I guess it is. That coin was brought into existence. My demo trade was on here, and then I got in with real money here. So this is the same coin pairing. And all of these red and green circles, in case you're not aware, these are the buys and sells that automatically happen while you're out living your life, because the bots are pre-programmed and all you do is put a couple numbers and a couple criteria in, and they're off to the races while you're doing your thing. And those profits are coming into your account on a micro level repeatedly all day long, every day. So that's what we see here. If I go back to my chart, I'm going to show you over these 28 days, this particular one bot has made me $791 in 28 days. And I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to start doing a couple calculations for you so that you can see what this really means. If we did $791 divided by 28 days, that gives me an average on that bot of $28 a day. Might not sound like much, but you know what? I didn't do anything for that. I just put this thing together. It's sitting there working behind the scenes. And that's what it's doing right now at this snapshot moment in time. When that thing starts going more, it's going to most likely increase because it's at the beginning of its life. And I'm just going to show you one step further here. If we take all of these exchanges or returns that we're getting so far and add them up, we've got 0.94% on the first one. And then we're going to add the 7.4% on the next one, plus 7.4. Then we're going to add plus 10.61. Hopefully you're following along with me so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And then we're going to add the last one, which is 24.75. This will mean that over, okay, I'm just going to equal it. But now what I have to do is divide by 4 because there's 4 of them, right? So if I divide by 4, this means that on average, these bots are giving me a return of 10.9%. And if we take it a step further and we say over what period of time, we've got 5 days, plus 13 days, plus 28 days, plus another 28 days. And we divide that again by 4. And that means it's over 18.5 days. So if we want to figure out what our daily return is, and we say 10.9%, 10.9 divided by 18 days, that is going to equal 0.6% return. So each day on average, these bots are making me 0.6%, over 0.5% every single day. And if you want to know just what does that work out to on a monthly basis, you just times that by 30, and we're getting over 18% over 1 month. If you wanted to see what that worked out to over a year, then we times that by 12, and this return is over 200%. So if we're getting 0.6, let's just take it down to like real numbers, what we're getting every day. These 4 bots, right, I followed Dan's rules and they're each $3,000. So those represent $12,000, right? If I took $12,000 and oops, that's 120, a little later, we'll get to that, you know, maybe next year. And I did it again. Sorry about that. Oh no, that was when I was correct. I apologize. $12,000. And we times that by 0.6%. This is our daily return. That means that we are, oh, I did have an extra dollar in there, or is it extra 0? So that means it's going to be $72 a day. Let me just get it correct. I guess I did have that correct, actually. Let me put the decimal in and see if that helps me 12,000. Okay, times 0.6%. 0.6%. Oh my, they didn't have a percentage in there. So I knew I was off by a decimal or a zero or something like that. So that's why it's good to do this in real life, in person, like watch it go. So you can see that these 4 bots are making me $72 a day for 10 minutes of work. Okay, maybe more than 10 because there's 4 bots on there. Maybe it was 20 minutes of work to get the bots put together and to get them going. And now I'm getting $72 a day on average. Granted, right now, they're all green. They're all looking good. There's no red in there. And there was red, a whole bunch of red last week. Most of them were red, but I was still making money. And that's because of, let me get rid of this calculator. That's because every time you see these red dots, that is your automated bot program that is buying a position, or sorry, it's selling a position when it's red. And that means it's only selling when it's going to sell for a profit, because they're programmed that way. It will never sell for a loss. Only you can do that, which is closing down your bot if you want to. So that's why this works so well, because as you might recall, there are 2 ways to make money with these things. This way, which is you getting those micro daily profits every time there's a sell. And the second way is if the coin that you paired up with the stable coin happens to increase in value while you own it, you're going to make a gain. And that would be wonderful. But we don't bank on that. We bank on this, because this is the daily, the small little money that's coming in repeatedly, no matter what we're doing, as we're going about our daily life. Because the automated program is already in place and it knows what to do. If the price goes to here, then you sell. If it goes to here, then you buy. If this, then that, the whole way, which is the beautiful thing about it. So let me take it a step further and show you a deeper look at that. I'll just go back one at this bottom one here that we're talking about that has done, that has profited $791 in 28 days. So let's take a closer look at that. And that is this screen here. And what it's seeing up here, you can see it says $791. That is my profit at this point. And that has already gone into my balance at my exchange. So that money is not, well, I wonder when I'm going to get my hands on it. Do I have to wait 30 days until the thing opens, or is there an expiry date, or do I have to wait for the terms and conditions to run out and then I can pay a fee if I release the money earlier? All that stuff from our traditional investing, right? None of that exists here. All these daily profits that are coming off are automatically in your balance instantly, by the way, not once or twice a day. Instantly they go into your balance. So that money is there and done. The additional money, which would be in this case, it would be at this moment in time, would be the $224. That would be today, right now, there's an increase on that coin from when I bought it to what it's worth right now. So if I did decide to close that bot, to shut that position down, then I would realize that gain. And if that was a negative number, then I would realize that loss. And I did that recently, actually, with a bot that was just tanking for several weeks. And what I should have done was held on a little bit longer, but I didn't. And I thought, I'm just going to take the hit and move on. And I did. So anyway, my overall numbers are a little bit lower because of that, but that's okay. You live and learn, right? But just to explain more on this page here, it shows you that your initial funds here, what I put in to start this bot was just shy of $3,200. It was $3,195. And right now the value change, it's up by, it's saying 822, and it's a little bit off from what, if you minus and subtracted all the numbers based on what you're seeing on the screen. And I believe that's because this number here, the 791, your profit, it may only be updated, I don't know how often. Maybe they update that once a day. I'm not really sure. But the difference between the 791 and the 822, it's about $30. And I believe that that is $30 has gone in my account since this number was put on the screen. And probably if I look tomorrow, I will see a similar scenario. So now at this point, if you added up my original investment of the 3,200 with the current increase in the coin, which is about $224, then you're going to get this amount here, which is the 3,420. And that is the current estimated value of this position of that coin the coin pairing based on where that coin is at right now, because like with Bitcoin, it's going up and down all over the place. And that's why we're doing this, because these coins are going all over the place and they're volatile. So that number is going to change constantly. And that is not an important thing unless or until you decide you want to close the position down. It doesn't matter how much the bot is worth. And if you remember from the training, from the webinar with Dan, when they started talking about real estate and houses and having a renter, and if your value of your house goes up or down, that's what this means. So in this case over here, this is the value of your house. Let's call it your asset, which is the bot. And that value is going to fluctuate constantly. Sometimes it's going to be higher than when you bought. Sometimes it's going to be lower than when you bought. Doesn't matter. And it doesn't affect how much your rent is, how much income you're making off of this thing every single day. It's got nothing to do with that. That just happens to be a secondary way that we can possibly make money off this thing. And we hope, and maybe it will, like for example, with Bitcoin, maybe it is going to hit. I think it's close to 50 right now. Maybe it is going to go to 130 this year. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Especially if it's just a cherry on the top, especially if we've got this other residual income coming in from all the cells spinning off. And let me go down in this page here and show you what the next screen looks like with those cells, with those daily profits. And actually, maybe before I go into these numbers, I'll just remind you, I'll go back to this screen here. This is just a chart, right? This is the same chart for this coin pairing. And as a reminder, every green circle is a buy. Every red circle is a sell. And your bot is pre-programmed to only sell for a profit. So every time there's a red circle and a sell, that's profit and money in your account. And here's how that's represented. You can see that there are buys here, but then, oh, there's a sell. And in this case, it sold for 0.26 cents of multiple derivatives here. And it's sliced down so thin that these are all saying 26 cents. And then you've got the numbers at the end are the change in from one to the next. This one is 631, this one is 632, this next one is 632. But you can also see there's more example in this one down further, this bigger screen with lots of cells. Everyone except one of them on this one is a cell. And if we start at the bottom here and look, right now, the amount of money that we've made already that's been put into our account is $789.85. And this last cell put another 26 cents and a whole bunch of change into that balance. So it's all these micro cells that happen numerous times in a day that add up. And in this case, it's nearly $800 in 28 days. So the next 26 cents went in, and that took it to $790.06. Then it went up over here. There was a buy. Then it went up to another cell to 790.20 cents and 0.41 cents and 0.61 cents and 0.82 cents and 0.02. Like it just continues to increase and increase. And those amounts of money get put into your account instantaneously. And people ask me all the time, what about the fees? Yeah, there's transaction fees. And on your exchange where you're holding your crypto and your fiat, or not you're probably traded your fiat in for crypto at this point, but where your capital is always in your exchange account. It's never at BitsGap. BitsGap is just a platform that we use to construct these trades, to construct these bots rather. And the money that goes into your exchange from here into your balance account is available instantly, which is pretty amazing, right? You can take that $800 and do whatever you want, or you can leave it in and let it grow, or reinvest it into the next thing, into the next bot. And I've got lots of people who joined the plan and they only had enough to start one bot out, or maybe didn't even have quite enough to start one bot. And there's great ways to grow that money quicker than you ever would in the traditional world in your bank, for example. But there's lots of folks I know personally who over the last number of months started one bot, grew enough in their earnings to fund their second bot. And this would be the idea, right? Because what you want to do is you want to get 3 or more bots going. That would be your goal and objective. 3 to 5 bots is primo. And the reason for that is because of that portfolio effect. And if I go back here to the first screen where I brought the calculator out and show you, the reason why that's so effective is because if one of those bots or 2 of those bots are not doing so well, it's not the end of the world because the other ones are probably doing fine. And it just kind of averages out. And that's what we're looking for here, is those averages. Like I showed you, when with this making me, was it $72 a day? Wow, that's awesome. Maybe at other times it's $50 a day, or at other times it's $120 a day, but that's pretty sweet. And as you get another bot on and you get that chunk of capital working for you, that's when you start to see the more of an exponential growth happening, because you are able to enjoy that effect and be able to have the average of all of them working for you and not be relying on that one, right? That's the main thing. Because even with this system, and even with Dan's great strategies where he teaches us how to pick coins, what are we looking for, which ones are a no-go, what are the boxes that we need to tick, even though we're doing all of that to keep this strategy as low risk as possible and with as high potential as possible, we still don't know for sure what's going to happen. And so every single turn we can possibly take, whichever way that we can keep this as conservative and low risk as possible, we're going to do that. And that is what happens when you do 3 to 5 bots. That means you are actually, that word, that diversification word, that is what's happening here. And you've got less reliance on 1 or 2 things to just be your whole hope of it all, right? Hope is not a strategy. We're going to use every single arsenal, every single tool we possibly can to make this thing as good and as strong as it possibly can be. So those are some of the reasons that we do that. I did add this other slide in. I don't know if it's worth showing you, but it right now, but just to further explain about those buys and sells and the grid, because we've got a range that we're trading on, right? And if you look at this chart here, it shows you there's a big range. And right now I'm trading, most of my green is gone. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here, because usually you've got a good chunk up and a good chunk down. And as it goes and moves, things change. And that's another part of the secret sauce of the system that Dan's put together, is he shows us what to do in this kind of a situation. So if I found myself, like there's a little tiny dip here, and I did actually blow it up to show you. Do you see this dip right here? That suddenly this particular coin went below my grid level, my active level where I'm in the game. It was out of range. And it wasn't for long. Sometimes it's for a long time. Sometimes it could be for a couple of weeks or even a month I'm hearing. But in this case, it popped back up, which is great. But when it's out of range, you're not actually making any money. So, you know, that's one thing that we have to deal with, and it's not a big deal. It is going to come back eventually. It's really just a matter of when. And this is another reason why we always only trade with money only invest money that we can afford to lose. Not because we're planning on losing it, but because we don't want to be in a situation where we find ourselves out of range, making decisions out of desperation. You don't ever have to sell. And that's your edge. That's one of your edges. That's one of the advantages that we have with this system and this plan, is because when it does go an opposite way that we want it to, you don't find yourself in a position where you have to take a loss. And by the way, even when it's down, you're still, even though your coin value is down, if your bots are still in range, you're still going to be collecting the daily profits, right? So it doesn't mean that you are not making anything. And if you are making nothing, it's probably going to be pretty close to what your bank account is doing anyway. So you'll make up for that the times that it is in range and doing well, which is the vast majority of the time. At least that's been my experience so far. So this just kind of blows up and shows you the example of the fact that, you know, these bots, they're pre-programmed to buy and to sell. And again, every time it sells, it will only do so for a profit. So you know that it's not selling at a loss. Now, only you can do that if you chose to, if it happened to be down, which, like I say, we probably wouldn't do that anyway. So I hope that kind of explains that. I just wanted to just throw up on the screen here and say, well, those words don't sound good together. I wanted to bring up on the screen here, and just while I'm closing out, let you revisit and look at the bonuses that I offer to anybody who signs up with me and enrolls in the plan through me. I have an amazing 9 bonuses that I'm offering. They're real value bonuses, and I like to call and say that they're zero fluff. Every single one of these are things that are going to help you get from where you are now to up and running fast, so that you can start profiting and making this passive income as soon as possible. So with the doors opening up for another short window of time here, it'll be over the weekend, I would think. I would invite you to definitely go ahead and get on my wait list below this video so that you're in line to be notified when that's going to happen. And do sign up through me if you are going to join the plan, because I promise you it'll be worth it to get the red carpet rolled out for yourself and the help and assistance that I believe many of us need and want when you're in these early stages and wanting to get yourself set up. So I would invite you to join my merry band of crypto traders, is what we are called. And probably I have to change that name, because we're not actually traders. Traders is a different term that actually implies that you are sitting in front of your computer, analyzing charts and indicators and buying and selling all day yourself. And usually it also means that you close out positions by the end of the day too. And we would never put a bot on and intend to close it out that same day. That's completely not our strategy whatsoever. So anyway, I might change that. I might not, because I like the sound of it, but it's a merry band of crypto knights, crypto lovers, whatever it is. We're having fun over there in our little private community, and everybody is engaged and helping each other, and it's awesome to see. So we would love to invite you in to join us if that is the direction that you want to go. So on that note, I'm going to say farewell for today. Thanks for tuning in again, and I will be coming to you again soon with another update and another video. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye.